So, based on this idea, Piaget said that there are 4 stages of cognitive development. Okay, 4 stages of cognitive development, and he bases these stages on what they can do during each stage, but also he has an idea of when they are in these stages. And he was very much what we call a stage theorist, and he believed that everybody goes through all of these stages in this order. They may not necessarily follow the same exact years, but they're going to follow the same process, the same ideas. So the first stage is what we call the sensorimotor stage, and this from 0 to 2 years. Okay, sensorimotor, just like it sounds like senses. Okay, you get things from your senses. So sensorimotor stage is where babies, okay, get things from their senses. So you give a baby a new thing, a new toy, even a flippin' pen or a marker. What are they going to do with it? Put it in their mouth. Pour it out. What does it taste like? This is how they learn about things. Okay? They go and feel it. They go and put it in their mouth. They go and try different things on it. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to listen to it. They're going to look at it and study it, and it's amazing. Oh my gosh.
It's a magic marker. What do you expect?
Yeah. Okay. So sensorimotor is going to be this idea of gaining knowledge from your senses. Now, during this phase, we're developing what we call object permanence. Okay, so object permanence is something that develops during sensorimotor. So you may want to add that here. It develops during sensorimotor. Early on, babies, and this is what I will encourage you to do when you're in the baby room next week at Trojan Tots, play some peekaboo with them. It's amazing. Okay, so.
Babies aren't quite sure what happens to objects when they leave their sight. Sky's mom keeps disappearing. Hearing. No wonder peekaboo is so much fun. During their first year, however, infants will learn an important concept: object permanence. Everything has a life of its own, even if it is out of sight.
At Maya's age, babies know to look for the object, but they might not have everything else straight. 10-month-old Simon is about to make a classic mistake, known as the A not B error. Although he watched us place the toy plane under the white cloth, he'll look for it where he last found it, not where he watched us hide it. If a 1-year-old can't find an object they want right away, they're likely to give up looking.
Okay, so the idea of object permanence is the idea that they understand that something exists, okay, even though they can't see it. Okay, so even though I can't see where it is, it's out there. I know it's out there. In the motor, they put things in their mouth, even cell phones. So this idea of object permanence and playing peekaboo with them, and I encourage you to do playing peekaboo with the babies, but also try that whole hiding an object. Find something that they're interested in. Doesn't have to be anything big, okay? And try and hide it underneath like a cloth, like they did, okay? If if they are a fairly young child, they will look for it. If they know that it exists, they will look for it, and they will look for it only in one place, okay? However, the older they are, okay, they have this sense that things exist even though I can't see them. So that's why by the time they're 2 years old, okay, they start to get these, favorite things, favorite toys, okay, and they will look for them. They will want that specific toy, and if you don't have that for them, they're going to have a meltdown, okay? My son really likes to play with cars. He will be downstairs in our house, and he'll be like, cars? I'm like, well, go find some cars. So he will go looking. He'll go looking in drawers for cars. He will go climb up the stairs. He will go looking for cars. He wants his cars. He will ask for, he has a Curious George stuffed animal. Okay, this is where they get a lovey, usually by the end of the first year, towards their second birthday. They'll get a lovey. They'll get something they're attached to, whether that be a blanket or a stuffed animal or a toy, where that's the thing that they have to cart around. Okay? and they know when it's not there because they have established object permanence. Okay? So next week when you're looking at the babies and the 1-year-olds, okay, try some of those things. Try that, and it sounds goofy, but try, hiding. Sometimes kids will get interested in your pen that you're writing with. Okay? Try hiding it under 2 things, hiding it under 1 thing, and then while they're watching, move it. You don't even have to be sneaky about it. The younger ones will only look for it the first place they saw it. The older ones will continue looking for it until they find wherever you left it. Okay? So that's the idea of sensory motor. The second stage that we're going to probably see next week is preoperational. This one is interesting because in preoperational they have this idea of conservation. They don't understand a lot of physical concepts. Okay? Preoperational stage is between 2 and 6 years old. By the time they start school, they kind of get the idea of conservation. It's kind of iffy in kindergarten. By 1st grade, they usually get it. Okay? So again, I have another video for you to illustrate conservation.
When you look at these 2 glasses, do you think that they have the same amount of juice? Do you think they have the same? Okay. Now we're going to pour this juice into this glass. Now, do you think that this glass has more juice? This glass has more juice? Or do you think that they have the same amount? This one has more, and why do you think that this one has more? Because it's hot. Are you ready? Okay. Does this row have more quarters? Does this row have more quarters, or do they have the same? They're the same? Okay. Okay. Does this row have more quarters? Does this row have more, or do they have the same? That one has more quarters? Why does this row have more quarters? This fire is more far away. Alright, we're going to play a game of grandpa, and we're going to share them between me and you, okay? You think that we shared those fairly? No, why not? Well, what if we try this? Now is it fair? Yeah, why is it now?
It works because conservation is the idea that they don't understand that just because something has changed appearance, it does not change the quantity. Okay? When you go into Trojan Tots next week, okay, I want you to choose something in there. Okay? It could be one of the things in the video, it could be something else. I want you to do some sort of conservation test with it. So the 2-year-olds and older. Okay, don't do it with like the 1-year-olds because they're not going to be able to verbalize anyways. Okay, so the 2-year-olds and older, try some sort of conservation test. It's kind of funny because the interesting things that they will look at. The other thing with pre-operational is that they are very egocentric. What does egocentric mean? Self-centered. They cannot picture somebody else's. They cannot get somebody else's viewpoint. Okay, so I do have another video. Kind of. Watch this.
When you look at that from where you're sitting, what are some of the things that you see? A cat. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. Can you tell me what you see when you look at it from that stool? An owl. What is that? A goat. Okay, is there anything else? dots you see? Right there, what is that? A tree. Another little tree. Can you tell me what I see when I look at this from where I'm sitting right here? Okay. Okay, so can you tell me what you see from that side?
A fox and a bone and a volcano and
Yeah.
a rock and a big fat Christmas tree.
Now, Braxton, can you tell me what I see from where I'm sitting?
A bird and a river and a volcano and a little sea and a rock and a tree.
Okay, so the point was that the first kid was egocentric. Okay, could he actually tell what she can see and what she can't see? No. He can't tell what she can see. He can't think about, okay, she might see something different than me. Okay, and that's the idea of being egocentric. They can't potentially fathom what other people see and what other people think. Working at that, and by the end of, by the time they're pushing 6, okay, even slightly before that, they'll become less egocentric and they can actually start to envision, and they develop what they call a theory of mind. And the theory of mind is that idea of figuring out what other people think, okay, and that their idea of the theory of mind is that all of a sudden they can realize that, wait, maybe Sally doesn't think the same way I think. Maybe Sally doesn't like it when I go and hit her. Okay? And so this is kind of a progression, okay? So, and they're kind of connected from the standpoint of that they're still working out what they know as an individual and being able to think about somebody else other than themselves. Okay, so when you are working on getting, a 3-year-old to say they're sorry when they go and do something wrong, they don't understand why they're saying they're sorry. They don't get it at all. Okay, but it's training and it's practice to get them. You should still continue to, my 2-year-old, he doesn't understand. Okay, he goes and hits his brother or sister, or he takes something from them or whatever, and they get mad at him, and I say, no, that's not right. I said, Aiden, go tell them you're sorry. Go give them a hug, you hurt them, you go tell them you're sorry. And he does, but does he understand? Not a clue, okay? But it is developing that practice, okay? So, as I mentioned, the cookie is an example of what? Conservation. Just because it has changed shape does not mean that the quantity has changed, okay? And there's my son. And like I said, his idea of, here's his Curious George, okay? And he has, he's very egocentric, and he can also not put himself in the place of others. I put this picture up here because now we have Skype, right? And so you can go do video chats with people that, from all over the world, basically, okay? But there are times, and my son and all 3 of my kids have done Skype chats with my parents. They live in North Dakota. But there are times where I'm actually talking on the phone to them, to my parents, and I will hold the phone out so that my son can talk to him. And he's beginning to talk to them a little bit on the phone, but not a lot. But I specifically remember with my older children where they will be like talking on the actual phone to them, not Skype. And they're like, Grandma, look what I have. See, look what I have. I have George here. I want to show you George. George. Grandma's like, honey, that's great, but I can't see George. And they don't understand that because they're egocentric and they don't have this idea of this theory of mind. What can Grandma see? And Grandma tries to reason with them and say, honey, can you see Grandma? No. So then Grandma can't see you. If you can't see Grandma can't see you. Don't get it. Okay? They're not going to get it until the end of the preoperational stage. Okay? They're not getting that theory of mind until then. Okay? All right. I think we're going to stop here. The other 2 stages are older stages. We'll hit those tomorrow. Okay? But these are the 2 that you will mostly see at Trojan Tots next week.